To unlock sovereignty, there's three keys that I find to be a nice recipe for invoking the highest expression of one's being in this form at this time. And that's coherence, inspiration, and devotion. And I'm going to break this down and talk about each one, because to have the inspired action of the experiences of invoking one's truth comes from that recipe. And so I'll start with inspiration, since that one's coming up first. Inspired action, inspiration, whether there's action or not. When the soul is not happy, not being nourished, inspiration goes away. And sometimes we have to call our soul back into ourself to really invoke that muse again and get that creative energy to return. And so that's why inspiration is such an important key and telltale sign of how in alignment or not in alignment we are with our purpose and passions in this life. Are we inspired? Are we not inspired? What can we do to bring that inspiration back? Sometimes it's very easy, like drawing or writing, and all of a sudden the floodgates come, and sometimes it's not as easy, and there's moments of resistance to even allowing creative energy to flow, because sometimes when we get out of alignment, it's confronting to get back in alignment. We get to accept the fact that we got off course and practice forgiveness for ourselves and patience. So I found that patience and acceptance are actually the precursor to bringing inspiration back in if inspiration has been lost. And in the realms of diving into sovereignty, coherence is the next one that I want to talk about. And sometimes I say emotional coherence. I've related to the expression of emotional intelligence, but that for me is defeating. Emotional in the body, in the emotional body, down in the primal animal self. Intelligence. That phrase brings the emotional experience back into the head, what we think we're feeling. So I've reframed it as coherence. And coherence is a total experience of harmony through all the systems. And when we feel coherence, it's striking that chord of integrity. My words and my actions, my heart and my mind, all of these things are aligned. And that's a coherent experience. And then we take that even deeper into an emotional coherence. It's really just a self-awareness and the ability to maintain trust with oneself when we are aligning to coherence. If there's not been coherence or harmony in our lives, and there's been dissonance or destructive experiences, all calibrating back to alignment, but if those things are still present, then we can invoke that coherence by speaking our truth and practicing that authenticity. Because authenticity is always the doorway and the gateway to bringing us into a deeper mastery of self, which is just conscious awareness. The more we practice conscious awareness and we go into a deeper relationship with who we are and what we want, what we need, and speaking those things, Then we can come into devotion. And devotion it has this quality of a deep commitment. Commitment is something that I can agree to, that I desire to fulfill, or give my energy towards. But devotion is this thing. It's again a full body expression of an offering of love and energy. And when we give that to ourselves, beyond and above anything or anyone external, that level of devotion ripples out, and our spirit is fed, and our soul is nourished, and our body is uplifted, and we feel light. We feel that we can understand the integration of the fact that we are creating all of this. When we are in that devotional experience to why we came here on this planet, why we incarnated into these bodies, what did we come here to do? And that's a different answer for every person. But until there's that devotion to that path, there's not that complete, inspiring, coherent, aligned expression of beingness that is life affirming, that is regenerative, that is magnifying everything around it, like a beacon or a lighthouse. And each of us are this. When we're attuned to our truth and to our essence, we can feel it, and everyone else can feel it too. When we're not connected to our light, our internal fire, and our power, that's when there's a grasping or a reaching or a leaning or relying or depending on the external world to fulfill parts of us that we haven't been fully embodying. So that's what I'll leave you with. Coherence, inspiration, and devotion. Finding one's wild truth to thrive. Yeah, we are all worthy.